These two guys have Minnesota sports flowing in their veins. Mackey and Judd on Score North and ScoreNorth.com.
Oh, we got good news for the audience. It's a stud stable week here on Mackey and Judd. We're going to get to our guy, the most passionate Vikings fan we know, Randy in Cottage Grove. Randy Vikes 69 on Twitter to give his stud stable. A man who has nailed correctly with his film breakdowns, his mock drafting, several Vikings draft picks over the years. But if you were to identify the number one draft pick for frozen pizza, I think it'd be Green Mill, that iconic Green Mill restaurant brand that most of you probably know. And now the legendary flavor of award-winning Green Mill restaurant pizzas can be enjoyed anytime at home. Just stop in at your local grocery store, go find that freezer section, and go look for the Green Mill pizza boxes, tavern-style pizza. They also have soft breadsticks and sauces available too. You can learn more at greenmillfoods.com. That's greenmillfoods.com. Let's bring him in here. Without further ado, he is Randy Vikes 69. Randy in Cottage Grove.
Thank you.
Victory Tuesday.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. It was a great win. And you know, if you're a Vikes fan, how could you not be snug after that one?
I mean,
it's true. It's very true.
I was real snug after the first two offensive drives, Randy. Not going to lie over here.
A lot of people said, earlier on in the year, they were saying, that McCarthy only had one good quarter as a pro. Well, not anymore. Looks like he's got about 5 now.
Yeah.
Keep going, Randy. Yeah.
So,
you're exactly right.
I mean, Jeff, you've seen a lot of people play quarterback over the years for the Purple, and this guy could be doing it for a while. Is how I start to feel, and that changed a lot. It changed a lot from earlier in the year when it looked like maybe he got his priorities mixed up. He was thinking too much about his kid or whatever. You got to get your priorities straight. You're an NFL football guy. You got a chance to be a stud.
Yeah, that was a real hot button topic. I feel like is on one hand you want to be happy that a young man and his gal are welcoming their first child into the world, right? That's the circle of life. But on the other hand, it's week 2 in the National Football League.
Don't stand still.
So
it kind of felt like a little conflicting there a month and a half ago, Randy.
They got you can find nannies and stuff. You can look it up online, and he makes enough jack. Something tells me he's a private school kid, wasn't he? I mean, he's got to be able to afford a nanny. Is all I'm saying. So you can't be goofing around with diapers and trying to diapers and wipes and whatnot. Can't be doing that. Can't be doing that.
Especially not when it's third down and blitz pickup installation day too. It's just can't have that.
I don't personally have offspring, but many years ago, I did date a gal who had a kid, and I gave him his first cigarette.
Oh,
how old was the said child?
12. That's fine. Like if you're over, what we used to say is double digits is fine. Like I
don't think that's how the law looks at it when it comes to.
I don't think that's what they say, Randy.
Well, she was there. She didn't care. I mean, we were just hanging out. It was a cabin, and I don't smoke anymore, but
does that kid still smoke?
Possibly. He's probably in his 30s now, but I fired off a dart. I fired off a dart, fired off a heater, and he said, "What's that?" And she kind of gave me this look like, "Go ahead." I tossed him one, and he choked it down, and it was all right.
She sounds like a keeper. I feel like you should have stayed
No, she doesn't.
together. She sounds like a keeper. You and her fire enough darts. You get the 12-year-old involved. I mean, Randy, this was your soulmate.
She was a hell of a bowler. I'll say that. That's how we met. Was we used to bowl out at that particular league was out in Sunray, and she had a good stroke. She definitely had a good stroke. She could get a lot of spin on it.
Okay, I don't need to know anymore. Thank you.
Wow. I mean, all right. Well, I think with that, I think we'll get into the Week 9 stud stable here. The Vikings go into the Motor City, 8.5-point underdogs. JJ McCarthy stepping back in as the starting quarterback, and they hang a big fat L on the Detroit Lions. Randy, if you're ready, we're ready for the Week 9 stud stable.
Let's do it. We're going to bring back now this time the super stud and super duper stud.
Oh,
I love it.
it's been a minute since we've done the tiers of studs on the
Well,
stud
they didn't
stable.
deserve it. They didn't play like it. Now
Yeah.
here we go. So we're going to start out with some just regular studs. Here's a guy who he went back in where he used to fix his supper, as they say. That's TJ Hawkinson. TJ kind of did. He had a couple Butterfingers moments. He's kind of sometimes got his head on a swivel, trying not to get hit before he's even got the ball. But he did get a tutty, as they say, and he looked good. He had the kind of flow going, and people got to get hooting and hollering at him, and he pumped it up a little bit, So good job on going back to Detroit and reminding them who's the boss, who butters the bread, and that's TJ Hawkinson, your stud.
Yeah, you think the Lions are maybe having some regrets about that? Or maybe Sam Laporta carrying the entire Vikings defense into the end zone on their first drive. But yeah, it was okay.
He's a ball player. He's a ball player. But here's another guy now on the offense who, he has a way to kind of find his way to the football, and then that's Jordan Addison. And Jordan, if you can stay out of the clink, stay out of the who's gal, you're going to be an important part of this team. You're going to be an important part of this team, and you when they throw all those coverages at 18 at JJ, as they say, you're going to be able to sneak loose for some of those, and good job coming back on that ball too, Liz. So Jordan Addison, this week you're a stud.
I agree.
Yeah, that's right. He is, man. Well done.
Do one more regular guy, then we're gonna go with our super stud and our super duper stud.
I love the warm up here. It's like a little warm up. It's like the opener. The band comes out there. Yeah, these are little finger foods before the super and the duper. Yeah.
I just and by the way, this is a guy who early in the year, a lot of us didn't know what to make of what was going to happen with his season. He had what they call a drought for many weeks. Now he's got a corpse thrown to him with arm falling off, and how you're supposed to catch touchdowns. Well, even this week he basically did it with one hand, and he made it happen, and that's Justin Jefferson. So you got all that ice, as they say, around your neck, and he's due for one of those games where he catches a couple, maybe 2-3 tutties. But it was good to see him get back in the end zone, and he'll get his. He's always going to get his. So Justin Jefferson, you're a stud.
That's right, stud.
I got a question. When the Vikings are on the road, and I don't know if you saw the ice that Jefferson was wearing post-game, but he doesn't wear it, obviously, during a game. Where do you lock that up exactly?
I don't know what they do in the NFL, but a lot of times in bowling, if we had stuff we didn't want like on our hands, like jingling around, just throw in your jack.
Wait. Just throw it right in there?
No, if you don't want it jingling around, you got like a ring or something, you don't want it scratching the ball, just throw in your jack.
You think Justin Jefferson?
I mean, it's possible. It's possible. Yeah.
Okay.
It's not against the rules.
Didn't expect that answer. No, it's not against the rules. 12-year-olds getting a cigarette, against the rules.
That's against the rules. Yeah. We don't advise that.
So now we go back to we go what we call these tiers, and this is like the everyone else got a good job. You're a stud, and now we're gonna have a guy who is a super stud, and a super stud is just a little something extra that just kind of brought a little juice. And I could go with a lot of different players on that defense, but I'm gonna go ahead and try to pump up a guy whose tires have been a little flat, who people have kind of been saying maybe he's not going to get a head coach sniff. No one's going to sniff around his head coach job. And that's Brian Flores. Okay. Flores, you went into a place with what they call Dan Campbell as a tough customer, and we shoved him around. We shoved those guys around. We kept Goff on his ass, back feet in his ass.
Yeah.
You know, what, 5 sacks, 6 sacks, a lot
Yeah.
of sacks.
It's like 10.
And was it 10?
No, it was like 5. Just kidding.
Well, okay. Well, that's all because we came with an attitude, with a little. It wasn't just razzle dazzle this time. It was tough guy football, and that's what Dan Campbell's. That's his brand. So you came into his house and you took his bacon, you took the pork roast he had in the pot, and you just took it and ate it. So Brian Flores and the whole defense, super stud.
And you ate it with your bare hands.
Yep.
You picked that pot roast up.
And you
with
made
one
him
hand.
watch. And he had to watch you eat that pot roast.
And you didn't blink the entire time while you stared at him and finished the pot roast. Yeah.
And then finally, here's a guy, and you knew he was going to have to be on the top of this cake. Is he going to be on the top of this pedestal, platform, podium, whatever you want to say? This is a JJ McCarthy. JJ, you came in here, and in Chicago, you did kind of you like that. You had that moment. You had kind of a coming out party, as they say, and then you kind of pooped your pants a touch and got hurt, and you took a seat. You had a 2-week ankle injury that they just kept fibbing and lying about, trying to figure out what was really going on with between your ears. Well, it looks like you figured it out. You took a couple of those little moments to do your meditations or whatever that is. And then it's working out for you. It sure worked out this weekend. So it's cool that you got a kid. That's what they call a hobby. But football is that's your life. Football is your life. So now that you got your head screwed on right, JJ, go ahead and enjoy it. Sip a little taste of that. And what that's called victory. And this week you had so much to do with it that you are on the first of the year and probably first of many for you. A super duper stud.
And he's gone.
I didn't realize children were a hobby. Never thought of it that way.
Well, making love's a hobby, apparently. And the children are a byproduct.
I just
of
like
that
the
hobby.
fact you gave a 12-year-old
I
kid
know,
a
that's
dart.
terrible.
That's
illegal.
It is, but it's so Randy.
How many different illegal activities has he admitted to in the 10 years he's been jumping on our show?
Yeah, I mean, he has been on, if nothing else, house arrest at least once.
Oh man. The sweet sip of victory is definitely one that JJ McCarthy knows very well. In fact, he's very rarely had a sip of whatever the defeat, I guess. He's only had like a couple shots of defeat his entire football life.
I don't even know where to go with this, since he had Brian Flores sniffing around things and I got really uncomfortable.
He seemed a little distracted there too a couple times. I don't know if he was. He might have been driving, which I feel like is a problem.
God, I thought he couldn't drive. I didn't want to ask, but so what's the whole thing about when he was bowling, sticking stuff in his jock?
Yeah, that is disgusting.
I didn't want to ask how that worked, but I mean, because with JJ, we're talking serious bling here.
Yeah, I mean, you could just like not wear the bling to the bowling alley or the football game. I mean, you don't. There's probably 10 other things I would consider before stuffing jewelry in my jock, either as a bowler or a football player.
It would never happen.
Yeah. Before we get to some statements here on the Mackey and Judd podcast, the OG Score North podcast, MSP Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning is here to help you stuff some things in your... No, I'm just kidding. Here to help your HVAC system.
Yep. And guess what, folks? Brr, outside. It is getting chilly. It is going to get downright cold, and this is where MSP Plumbing, Heating, and Air come in. They're your local Carrier dealer delivering quality and reliability. And what they can do right now is they can have a preemptive trip to your house in checking your HVAC. Do not let something go wrong. First of all, it's going to be expensive. Second of all, your house is going to be freezing cold. It's comfortable enough now that if they come out and check, they're going to find out anything that is going wrong. They're going to fix it. You're going to save money, and most importantly, your house is going to be safe and sound and nice and warm. Carrier, by the way, is a leader in innovative, reliable HVAC technology known for energy efficiency and durability. So don't wait until the cold arrives. Get ahead of the game. Just like a good game plan, don't miss that Thursday practice. Make sure that your HVAC's getting checked on Thursday or any day of the week. Check out MSP's website. That is callmsp.com, or give them a call, 651-615-4292. Ask about their outstanding services and also Carrier products.
Hey, if you want to get a head start before the holidays on losing weight, that's like our guy Doogie's lost like 20 pounds in the last several weeks, 25, whatever it is now.
Yeah.
Awaken 180 weight loss. Sometimes people, like starting now, it's like, I'm just going to give up for the next 2 months and then I'll start in January, right? How empowering would it feel to start losing weight in the 3 weeks before Thanksgiving into the holidays, have a plan where you can still live your life and have fun, but also maintain or lose weight during the holidays. And that's where Awaken 180 comes in. And by the way, they offer coaching support too. They'll teach you how to grocery shop strategically, the ins and outs of nutrition, why you feel and sleep better with different foods and a different game plan, and various myths that are stopping your success. Find out more at awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com. And get a head start before the holidays on feeling and looking really good. So, all right, statements. Do you have any statements you want to throw out here on the OG Score North podcast, Judd?
Yes, I do. And that is, hey, the World Series was great. 7 games, fantastic. But baseball people, my statement is this: slow your roll. Have you seen this brawl that's developed on social platforms, including Twitter? So the World Series Game 7, not surprising, the rating was really good, which is awesome.
Like 28 million people or something.
It was fantastic.
Right?
But I am looking through now. Now what has developed is that baseball people are declaring that they have passed the NBA, that we are now the second most important sport. I'll start with this one. It's Jared Carrabis, right?
Yeah,
who is
Carrabis, I think, yeah.
Oh, okay, so he is a very popular baseball guy, and he tweeted yesterday, at what point can we say that MLB has passed the NBA for the number 2 spot of the 4 major sports? Or are we already there, okay? First of all, slow your roll. Second of all, it was a Game 7. Every Game 7 in any league does great. Now it is relative to the sport. So yeah. Like hockey Game 7 does great. Now it's more of a niche sport, but anyway, the point is this. If we are judging things on ratings, like, the ratings, wake up call. It's 2025. So you're going to sit a bunch of people down, let's say teenagers and people in their 20s, okay? And you're going to sit them down and they're going to say, and you're going to say, rank the sports for me. We're doing a poll. And they're going to say, okay, football won. National Football League is king. No one's going to debate that. But you're telling me that this influential group of young people is going to say, and by the way now, MLB 2, NBA 3. Come on.
Okay. Well, so let's go down this path for a second. I like that you brought this up. Baseball deserves a celebratory lap for the viewership and the excitement of the playoffs. You had Game 7s, you had Game 5s.
Well done.
World Series Game 7. Maybe one of the 3 or 4 most exciting, captivating baseball games ever played, just considering the circumstances. I mean, 91 is always, for us, we're always going to say the 91 Game 7 is going to be right up there, number 1. So they deserve a victory lap for that. I also think baseball deserves a victory lap for they don't do this very well or very often, but they have in the last 5 years examined their sport and said, I know that we hold all these rules and statistics and records to be sacred, and we couldn't possibly change anything fundamental. And they said, all right, I guess we have to change a few things. We'll do a pitch clock, we'll do bigger bases, and we will eliminate the ability to shift a third player on either side of the base. And that's resulted in higher batting averages, more stolen bases, and shorter times of game with the pitch clock. I think only like 12% of games were over 3 hours, and that number was like 70% 10 years ago. So like they're doing all these things. They're going in the right direction. I think in a year and a half, the next, like the work stoppage that's going to take place, however they come out of that's going to lead to some things too. But to burst baseball's bubble a little bit, just to calm down a little bit, I think the health of the sport can be judged by team valuations, because that's an indicator of your financial, the public interest in your product, the financial success of your product.
Yep.
And the NBA, the top teams in the NBA are worth $10 billion now. The Yankees are worth $7 billion in the major leagues. No other team is worth more than $4.5 billion.
Yeah.
So in terms of like what the market says about baseball, still got some work to do. But to me, they're going in the right direction the past couple of years for the first time in 20 years.
Yeah, but I agree with everything you just said, okay? But let's appreciate that, realize that there is a ton of work to be done, including getting your economic house in order. And let's not now proclaim, like, I'm not saying I'm a basketball guy, okay? But if we're talking about one thing that drives me crazy, television ratings are used when it's convenient. Mm-hmm. So if they're really good and you're a baseball fan, you're like, this is great. But everybody knows it's one of the most archaic, silly things that exist. And the reality is this to me. Number one, let's give your key demographic the names of players and say, who do you recognize? Shohei Ohtani, slam dunk, right? But like, how many NBA players? And the other thing is, and I don't even know where this stops now, the majority of, or a large group of fans now of a sport go and seek out highlights. They don't watch full games. So this is a different world. So yes, I'm with you totally. I'm a big baseball guy. I love the sport. I'm a little bit frustrated though by the aging white guy who loves baseball now saying we punch back. You got a long way to go, including the fact that we do have to look at, you are probably going to lose a large portion, if not all, of a season to get your economic house in order. And ain't no one going to be bragging at that point, ain't it grand? Baseball is past basketball.
Yeah. I'm so curious to see, because the NFL and the NBA, if those are the two most popular men's team sports or just leagues in this country, they both have pretty tight ranges. Now basketball has a little more loosey-goosiness in terms of you can go over the cap, and then there's like a couple levels of aprons that you get punished with luxury tax. But
yes,
the NBA has a pretty tight range, and the NFL way even tighter on the floor that you have to spend up to every year as an ownership group, and the ceiling or the cap on what you're allowed to spend. So in baseball, this is the widest the gap has ever been, where you literally have multiple teams spending I think $400 million or whatever, including the tax payments for the Dodgers. And then you've got teams that are still spending $55 million. The Pirates have never spent $100 million on a payroll before.
Yeah.
Ever in the history of their franchise.
Right.
So can you tighten that gap? Do you think baseball would be better and more entertaining if the gap was like, all right, the floor is going, and they do revenue sharing across the board. The floor is going to be $120 million, and the cap is going to be $200 million, or whatever it looks like.
Sure. Yes.
Do you think baseball would be a better, more entertaining product?
Yes, because you would at least give a chance to a parity. Parity is impossible to achieve right now. Because you've got teams.
There hasn't been. This is the first back-to-back World Series champion we've seen in 2 decades.
Right, but it's still
right.
But it feels like it's so hard to pop up.
Yeah.
So yes, we have different teams in different stratospheres, but that's the problem is we have stratospheres. That's an issue. The other thing is, at the end of the day, the Twins, Phil, couldn't. It's not that the poll heads pulled the team off the market because they decided that they loved baseball. They couldn't get $1.7 billion for a team in a relatively new ballpark. That speaks to your point, the economic problems. So, yes, I think if it became genuinely important that if you have a good front office, that you can construct a team, and I don't care if you're the Pirates or the Dodgers, okay? I think that makes it more fun. Because right now, you're part of your issue is, I think he's still in Pittsburgh, Ben Cherington.
Yeah.
Who used to run the Red Sox. Ben Cherington's got no chance. Like what are the Pirates going to do? Go spend? Like right now, the Twins are not going to spend. So, yes, I think the sport becomes a lot more entertaining. Now, the thing, though, that basketball, and this is where, like, the haughtiness is off the charts. Basketball is huge, partially because their sport is designed to feature their stars. We've talked about this. Shohei Ohtani can't come to bat every inning.
The biggest stars in basketball have the highest usage rates.
Correct.
They've got the ball all the time. They're playing the most minutes.
And that's
They're
what the
scoring
American
most
public
points.
likes. Mm-hmm. I don't blame them.
Yep. Since we're on baseball here, and we're about to send you and Dex is going to be out there too at the.
Doogie going to be out there. It's going to be a
Derek
love
Shelton
fest
press
out there. I
conference.
can't wait to see the Twins people.
My statement is, I want you or somebody to, and I think it'll be Falvey and Derek Shelton, probably not Joe Polad, although I would argue that Joe Polad might want to make a public appearance of some kind after all these big decisions over the last 6 months, keeping the team, selling off 40% of your team at the deadline,
Don't hold
announcing minority owners that still no one has any idea who they are or exactly what they're going to do, et cetera, et cetera. But what I want to know is, you guys put your heads together. So my statement is, I want someone to ask this question. And I'm not going to be able to be there because I'm going to be recording O-line committee and having fun talking about football and not a bad baseball team. But you guys have had one of the worst 2-year stretches in the history of this franchise in terms of not necessarily the worst 2-year wins and losses stretch, but if you take their record since the middle of August a year ago, they are actually one of the 3 worst records in baseball. I think it's the Rockies, maybe the White Sox. So it is actually one of the worst 2-year stretches in the history of Twins baseball, both on the business side and on the baseball side, and from a marketing and fan approval side. It's a train wreck. And you guys decided that there was one major scapegoat, one major person that needed to be held accountable for that. And it was Rocco Baldelli, the manager. And I don't even disagree with firing Rocco Baldelli.
Right.
But can you speak to his incredible negative influence on this organization, where you decided that all of what's happened in the last 2 years comes down on that guy, and now the pressure on Derek Shelton to replace him and lift this ship back up? Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot to put on Rocco and Derek Shelton, isn't it? Hold my microphone out, my recorder out. Of course, I'm being facetious because there are problems that go beyond the manager.
Or just mic drop it.
Yeah.
Boom.
I mean, wow, what a pressure cooker to be walking into with this franchise. Boy, our manager was so bad. Thank God we got that guy out of here. And now the franchise and the organization can move in the right direction.
When you could have started with him, but then gone on and done more, and they didn't do more. This gives me an idea. I'm going to start my own media company called Mic Drop. And just go to press conferences and just ask.
You don't even listen for the answer. You just walk out.
You walk out. You just mic drop and you walk out.
Don't you want to hear my answer? Nope, I'm good.
Nope. Are you the worst ownership group in all of sports? Mic drop. Mic drop media.
I like that. That's LLC. There it is. All right, that's a wrap on this episode of Mackey and Judd here on the Score North YouTube channel, the OG Score North podcast for the Sports Dad. I'm Phil. We'll see you guys for some Write That Down predictions tomorrow.